It's later in the day. It's about 5:15. I have been doing things. I thought today I would sort of take it easy. I don't know. I don't know. I had this conflicting thing of like, I'm gonna have a million things to do in this one day, and I'm going to take it easy and relax. And I've kind of been doing both. I've been doing a million things at a not very fast pace. I've been getting back to social media and eBay auctions and things that I've let slide because I've been away. I unpacked everything because I'm going to need to repack. I inventoried my pins. I was going to inventory my prints, but I should inventory my prints, but I'm gonna let that slide for now. I can't even, it's nothing exciting I've been doing, just stuff that I need to do. I still, I sound like I have a sore throat a little bit. It doesn't hurt, I feel fine. I guess I just did so much talking this weekend and not getting enough sleep, which bodes well for the weekend coming up, which I'll be doing the same. But anyway, I need to do my 30 minutes still, but there's just other things I gotta tend to. What was I going to talk about? Why did I stop in the middle of the day to make this? Well, I guess I just want to talk a little bit about G-Fest again. I've yet to crunch the numbers 100%, but I know that I covered my plane ticket, I know that I covered my table, and I still came out making some money. So at the very least, I got a free trip to see my friend in Chicago and, have a little adventure and still make a little bit of money. I would like to have made more money, but it was a success. It wasn't a runaway hit success, but it was a success. And I got to, have an adventure, as it were, for free. So, barring any unforeseen circumstances, I'm thinking I will go back next year with some adjustments to help sell my book more and hopefully make a little bit more money so that it becomes a super profitable experience as opposed to, I made a little bit of money. So I also have Godzilla Night 5 coming up at the end of this month, which I kind of wanted to start getting ready for, but I realized, that's when I was, inventorying stuff. I was like, I should put some orders in and do this and work on a new print. And I'm like, I'm crazy. I have, less than a day before I'm leaving for San Diego. I will do that when I get back. Regarding the horror, I am going to bring a few issues with me to San Diego. I don't have a table. I have no appointments with anyone, but I want to have a few on me in case I meet an editor or someone that's interested, in case I meet someone online that might want to buy it. It just seems like it'd be a good idea to have a few copies on me. Normally I do a portfolio review. I don't know if I'm going to do that this year, because usually I'm trying to get work for other people. And I'm not really, I wouldn't turn down work if it came to me, but I'm not really looking for that right now in comics, especially because it's so time consuming. And as we saw with issue 1, I was working on Kid Switch, I was working on Earthling, and I liked working on those and I was happy to, but it took me a really long time to get the first issue done. And it wasn't just those, it was life and writing and everything, but I really want to get the next issue done in a timely manner, and the next and the next and the next. So, I also am often, like I said, trying to get work and networking and things like that. Well, networking, I'm not very good at it. When I go to Comic-Con, and I kind of just want to be able to enjoy myself. I don't know if I'm going to go next year. We've got every single year, and we talked about not going this year. We ended up going because we're driving instead of flying, which we've never done, and we're driving with our friends, another couple, so that'll make it easier, and we're splitting the hotel room, so the cost is going to be lower, so we decided to go. But I don't know if we'll go next year, like I said, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if I just enjoyed myself. I always enjoy myself, but there's always an edge of okay, I'm going to go sit, and get portfolios done, and I know I didn't put up a video last year of it, but I had originally shot video in the portfolio review line, but there was a weird thing too, where some of the people doing the review, I'm like, do you mind if I record this? And they're like, sure, as long as you don't put it on YouTube. And it's like, oh, that's okay, well, but one of the big takeaways I had from that experience was, I had more positive than negative feedback, but I had the first couple pages of the horror done, and most of the people I met said oh, that's your best work. Of all these sample pages and these other comics you've worked on, this stuff at the back, meaning the horror, is your best. Which confirmed that while I spent probably longer than I needed to on it, it was a passion project. It's my project, and not consciously, because I certainly always try to do my best, but I did my best on those pages. And I also had people looking at my stuff saying, this is good, but I have no work for you, or, this is nice, but your style isn't quite there, or, whatever the thing was, the reason why they couldn't give me work wasn't so much go work on your perspective and come back. It was just your style doesn't fit what we're looking for, or I'm not hiring for someone right now, or I am hiring, but only people that can draw, hot bad girls with swords and, bikinis made out of chainmail. Nothing against that, but clearly that's not what I do, and it's not something I could just pick up, So that experience helped me while working on the horror to redouble my efforts, but coming into it again now, I'm what's the point of doing a portfolio review? Yeah, you could always get feedback, but rarely are they super specific the way an art teacher would be. It's usually more about how to market yourself, and if you're way off course and have no idea what you're doing, then it's a lot better. And as I've gone year after year, the last couple of years, it's like, okay, we have lots of pages of sequential art, and you have backgrounds, and you have action, and, you know, I've kind of hit all the notes that they usually give. And now it's just a matter of, like, does my style fit what they're looking for, you know, and usually the answer is no. And there's not a lot I could do about that. And it would bother me more if I wasn't working on my own comic, but I am. So, like I said, I don't know if there's a point. You know, maybe if I find myself with some free time, I'll do it, but I don't know. I'm kind of coming to this realization as I'm talking about it. I was already thinking I might not, but the more I talk about it, I'm like, yeah, what's the point? But anyway, I should do some more work. I still got to do my 30 minutes. I think we're going to go out in a little while, so I'm probably going to... she's got to get some new shoes for the trip, so I'm probably going to go with Q to get some new shoes, maybe eat some dinner out, because I don't feel like shopping for food that's going to sit in the fridge for the next 4 days and go bad. And then, yeah, we will... I'm going to throw markers, and we'll talk again. I'm sorry about my sore throat. Rest assured it doesn't hurt. It just sounds weak. Tell me if this isn't random. I was getting the mail, and somebody left the energy shed, or whatever you call it, open, and inside... a picture, a painting, I suppose it's under glass, so I can't tell if it's an original. I assume it's a print of a knight getting knighted. That's as random as it gets, I think. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. I need to be ready to go by 7 a.m. tomorrow, so we're beginning to see the beginning of a beginning. What? We're beginning to see a pattern. Pattern which we recently had at G-Fest, which we're about to repeat, of me being up too late for how early I have to get up for a big day of things. We went out to the mall primarily to get Q shoes, new sneakers for walking around, and I just had to run to Target because I realized we did not have enough dry cat food for the feeders for the cats. That I should have checked that, but I didn't. And so now it's about 11. I'm mostly good. I gotta pack, but packing for me is throwing some t-shirts in my backpack, so that's not so bad. But I gotta put my 30 minutes in. So I'm sitting down to do it, and I'm like, oh, I could use my computer. You know, I'm not gonna be able to use it for the whole time in San Diego, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just open some files and see what I could get done. Originally, I thought, like, oh, I'm gonna do a lot of work that day in between, but that was crazy. I'm once again just trying to fit in my 30, so let's see what I do. And it's been 30 minutes. I caught up on Mike Emeritz's most recent video, skipping a few because I've fallen behind. I usually will, with a lot of the 100s, I will go to their current day just so I could comment and kind of cheer them on, and then later go back and watch some of the others. But also selfishly, because I had a feeling this was the video where he talked about when we hung out, which was a good time, and he did, and I can confirm it was a good time, even though I had already I'm reconfirming. Anyway, I also saw Kevin Cross's new video and yada yada. Watch the hundreds, that's what I'm saying. Let's see what I did. I opened up my thumbnails, which I had laid out on the 2-up page sized correctly, as I talked about before, and this is actually page 2. Page 1 was a lot of Boots walking around in her uncle's house and stuff, but I wanted to work on this panel here, which is it's actually a news report of the attack from the last issue, but I wanted to have a big, exciting splash of the horror near the beginning. So that was the rough. I went ahead and put that layer on top of 75% opacity white, and I started sketching it like this, and this is very off model, but I was sort of looking down, and one of the things I want to work on in this issue is the perspective shots to make the horror look gigantic, which I feel I did okay in the first issue, but I want to do better. So this kind of looked okay, like we were looking down at him, but I realized that's not what I was going for. What I would prefer would be to be looking up at him. So I did this, and I was happy with it. And I also, the horror has sort of a casual menace. Like, he rarely is roaring and smashing around like a Godzilla might, like a King Kong might. I mean, I guess a Godzilla too. And it's almost more of like a sluggishness to him, you know, where he spins around and knocks stuff over with his like semi-limp arm. And so that's kind of what I was trying to achieve here. But also, I realized I needed to format it for the page, so when I put this in, that's roughly the size the panel is going to be. And that works, but it wasn't quite dynamic enough. So what I did was, I took this same basic image, flattened it, twisted a little, zoomed in a little bit, and what we got was this. So it's the same basic image, the only thing I changed was I zoomed in a little bit more, tilted the angle so it's a little bit more exciting, a little bit more energy. I put a couple soldiers in the foreground on the ground to help show, you know, they're looking at him, he's looking down at them, they're small, helps reinforce the perspective and his size, put a little bit of shadow, that, you know, this is to indicate how I'll shade it later to make it more dynamic, but now you see the fire is lighting him up. The other thing I did, which I didn't really do much in the first issue, was I have it cutting off his head and you know, arm. Maybe I'll let these fingertips break the border, but that I think helps a lot. And it's funny, I didn't do that very much on the first issue. And I realized the reason for that, like, it's a really good technique, because I was looking through some Godzilla comics and other giant kaiju comics for ideas, and it's a really good technique to just have like a big foot coming into a panel, or, you know, the arm reaching off and it's so big, you know. And I was like, why didn't I do that more? And I think it's because it was drilled into my head in art school, Joe Kubert, you know, comic school, all school, you know, that you don't want your feet falling off the page, you don't want your head being chopped off here. And that's true usually. That's like the standard. If I'm Superman on the page, we don't want it cut off like here. That would look weird. But this is the exception that proves the rule. Just like they always say, you got to learn the rules before you break the rules. And I learned the rules, and I'm sticking to them a little too hard, and I got to remember to break the rules. Because with a gigantic monster like this, your frame of reference is going to be different. When you look at people, you generally see their entire body and everything, unless they're standing above you or they're very short or something. This is normally how you see people. And with a monster, if you were looking up, very likely the feet would be cut off by buildings. You wouldn't be able to see the top of the head. You know, you might just see the legs swing by. And so I'm going to try to let myself break those rules to help reinforce the size and colossal nature of the horror. And this first panel is a good step. Now, unfortunately, after this, I'm going to have to go back to doing character designs, but I went from thumbnails to roughs of a panel that I was a little bit worried how I was going to make it look. And, you know, obviously it's still rough, but I'm pretty happy with the progress I made in this half hour. Okay, I'm going to sign off because it is now 11:30 something. And I still need to do a few things before I go to bed to try to get up at this point in 7.5 hours, less than 7.5 hours, to then drive, whatever. So the next couple videos, I think it's 5 days, will be very similar to the ones I did in Chicago, where I'm going to be like, I don't know how I had time to draw. This is what I did, you know. But hopefully it will be interesting B-roll while I'm at the show. The downside is I don't know if I'll be able to update regularly. When I was in Chicago for G-Fest, the first night, I got on my friend's Wi-Fi, did my video, I edited it on my phone with iMovie. Thank you again, Jan, for recommending it. Yannemal, another one of the D100s. And I uploaded it, and it worked fine. The next day, it didn't work, and so I had to put it on his laptop and upload it there. That's why 2 came out a day later. Like, I'm making the videos every day, I'm doing the work every day, but they were coming up kind of sporadic. Now, today, I got all caught up. I'm going to put this video up, and it's going to be completely ready to go. And tomorrow I'll do my work and do my video and try to upload it at the hotel Wi-Fi. It may or may not work. So if I suddenly disappear for 5 days, rest assured I'll be doing my work, be doing my videos, but I won't be able to upload them until I get home. I hope that's not the case, but this is my sort of, you know, warning. Be warned! You might be without me for a few days. I don't know how many days you'll be without me. All I can say for sure about the number of days you may or may not see me, I don't know. But today is day 14. And if today is day 14, well, then that means we've got 86 days left.